Hey everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the Almoran Project. Today, I worked on a Daedra-ish temple to one of the ancient gods of the continent, so it's a little spooky, but I think it came out pretty awesome. So without further ado, let's jump into the intro and on to the walkthrough. Alright everybody, so I know there was no time-lapse in this video, and that is simply because I did not do my research, and in 1.15 there is actually no working replay mod for Forge. So I'm probably going to go back to building stuff in 1.12 and then having the actual walkthroughs in 1.15, just so you can kind of compare and contrast the differences. And you know, if that sounds pretty good for you guys, definitely let me know in the comments below. I want to make these videos still the good, same high quality videos that they were before, but of course, not having a replay mod in 1.15 kind of complicates that. So pretty much build in 1.12 for the time lapses and then have the walkthroughs in 1.15. Let me know down in the comments below what you'd like to see, and we could take it from there. But just like I said in the intro, here we have it, the super creepy Daedric-esque temple for one of the fallen gods. So I mean, not gods, but like one of the evil entities of the world, I guess you could say. And it is tucked away here in this mountain space where the village where we left off last time. We have a nice little path that I haven't built up. I want to do a little bit more around this area, kind of build it up with maybe some ruins or stuff like that, but this is it. And if you look at it, this just looks so cool. This was my first time kind of going for this sort of build, and here we kind of have like a ruined pathway with some pillars that have been torn down over time and worn out. We got a little skeleton face hanging up right there, but I do really like this. So let's get on with the walkthrough. So going up here, this pathway, once again, you could tell it's a little beaten down, broken up, but with the powers or magical entities that house this, it's still in pretty good condition, and it stays this way without much upkeep. And that's just part of the lore. But you see we have like tons of like dead trees using the new 1.15. Love it. It looks so cool. We have a bunch of them. You could tell it goes from a lush, fertile area. We still have some good trees here, but of course we have some dead ones, and I plan on building even more to really surround this area. Got some dead bushes and stuff like that. All goes with this theme. But when you go up here, you can see, I mean, like, look at this. It just looks kind of creepy, right? It has, tons of vines and stuff like that all around the area. So what I want to do is I want to walk you around the side of the temple and let you kind of see that, and then kind of go into it so you can see that as well. So right off the bat, of course, using all the new blocks, we have broken barrels. This has been out, and it's not really touched too much, but it is a nice little neat area. You can see here we have some braziers and stuff like that, open chests, like as if it was an RPG and someone had already looted this area. This is a low level area though, for anyone wondering. But I just like the way this came out. This pathway, you can see it's a little broken up. We have some grass and stuff like that coming out of it. But of course, we have vases, barrels, all this kind of stuff to just kind of add to the feel and the environment of it. More dead trees growing along the walls and such. Now, only 2 of these towers are actually still functional, but when you go in, you can tell here, it's simple. We have a little, wooden board here, like a floor that no longer, there's no access to, but of course we have these just small little cluttered areas. This would be full of like ashes or, like remains and stuff like that of, cultists and things like that that maybe once used this place as a worshiping area. But once again, like, I love the atmosphere of the dead trees, the vines growing through, like all this kind of stuff. The building itself, when I give the overview, you'll see it kind of has like a sinister look, and of course that was intentional. But it was my first time kind of reaching out to do this kind of theme. So I think it really came out well. I think it was pretty cool. Once again, small little storage area, nothing crazy. But we will go out here. And I know this walkthrough is going to be very quick. I do apologize about that, not having the time lapse. Kind of shortens the videos a little bit, but I just like the way this came out. We have these archways with some wooden supports that are, kind of rotting and stuff like that here. Once again, another tree kind of branching over the pathway a little bit, and then outside of it as well. And actually, look, I'll give you the fly around right now. Actually, so you can see here and you can tell in the thumbnail too. I really like the way that it came out. Like I said, I tried to make it kind of evil, you know, kind of sinister looking. And I think it looks really cool. Obviously, there's a little bit of copy and pasting done, but that's okay because it still works out just fine. But yeah, this to me is like one of the coolest builds that I've done so far. I really like it. It's totally out of my comfort zone, but I think it came out really, really well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the main temple here. So as soon as you walk in, you'll notice on the very back wall, you know, we have some you know, scripted walls, you know, that have magical properties, kind of like in Skyrim, you know, how you would get a new dragon's voice and stuff like that. It's something similar to this, except it's just a way to communicate with this entity, this evil demonic kind of entity. We can see here we have, you know, some warm coals and stuff like that. We actually have some burial areas, kind of like the Draugrs in Skyrim, but they're right here. You know, we have 4 on this wall here. And of course, just a little bit of clutter and stuff like that, just kind of all around. You know, once again, we can open up chests if we want to, but we're going to leave that one closed. And then another skeleton, like, look at that guy. he's kind of like peeking through the barrel. He's like, oh, hello, how are you? welcome to the evil chambers. But of course, you know, we have some weapons, more burial areas, stuff like that. And some barrels and such, you know, very simple, very basic stuff, but I really like the way they came out. Once again, if you look up here, we have plenty of vines and moss and all this kind of stuff growing from the ceiling, as this entity, like the magical properties keep this place looking in good shape, like it doesn't fall apart and everything like most places would after they've been abandoned for a long time. But they, you know, it is overgrown to some extent. And up here you can actually see the sarcophagus pretty much of what represents that deity. And we have some daggers, and we have like a little washing station, a sword, a table, all that good stuff. Now in this, you know, lore, obviously, you know, like people who would want to worship this deity would you know, cut their hands open and bleed it over the sarcophagus, and that's their offering to it, and their you know, pledging their allegiance and loyalty to this entity to carry out its ill will. Obviously this entity is based on violence and death, and that is, you know, what its members and the cultists beforehand, and even some people now that are still a part of that cult, still carry out murders, assassinations, things like that. But you can see here, this is supposed to be like a barrel of blood, you know, where it just sits and it never stagnates and never dries up. It's always liquid, and with each person's blood, it just commingles and fills up those barrels. So I thought that was kind of a nice little touch. And we got a little skeleton head, a little bit of blood on the altar that's already been there. But yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, I think it's pretty cool, actually. it's a little creepy, but you know, it comes out pretty well, and I really do like the way that it came out. And the new paintings with the white writing on the wall is a nice little touch. But yeah, this is the view that you would get, and there's some light shining through the door. I wish I knew how to stop that, but I don't. It's not a super well lit area, but it's enough for you to get the overall feel and presence of it. And then of course, after you cut your hands or whatever, you know, you can rinse it off in this basin, or just leave it to dry as a mark of your loyalty. Kind of just depends on the follower. But this is a massive chamber. We got, like I said, the big supports. We have the lights hanging down. It's just, you know, I really like it, and I definitely want to build more like this, and there will be more temples similar to this, but obviously different materials and different styles, all throughout the world, representing, you know, that part of the lore. So anyways, that's it. You know, I know, like I said, it was a very short, kind of sweet video, but once again, here's another flyover. I'll go the opposite direction now, and it's just kind of tucked away in this little cliffside here in the mountains, and I thought it was a really cool location, and I'm really excited to build around this and really make it something cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the video. Like I said, simple, short, sweet, to the point. I do eventually want to build some bandit camps along this valley here, maybe a little bit over here, to stop, you know, potential pilgrimages or things like that to go to this area. You know, we could have fighting factions in this area, like cultists who still come here to pledge their loyalty, but then, like, you know, people of the light or something like that who try to convert them, and if they don't convert, they, you know, they kill them, kind of like the Crusades kind of thing going on. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I do hope you enjoyed it. And you can see here the path is very broken up, and I plan on making it a little bit more detailed, but it does stop right here, and that leads to the village. And then those bandit camps, I'm thinking will probably go like in this area, maybe over here, like a small little soldiers camp. And then I want to do some cliffside camps and stuff like that in this area, just to kind of block any traffic from going around here. And you can see that too. So you know, that's pretty much it. So I mean, with all that being said, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You know, I know my videos have been a little sporadic lately, but I'm really trying to you know, still build. Now for the future reference, like I said, I will be building in 1.12 for the time lapses. I think that is a good idea. And then I will be having the walkthroughs in 1.15, so I'll be building everything twice, so my videos might take an extra day or two to come out, but you know, that's pretty much it. So anyways, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And if you definitely want to support, you know, there are some cool benefits, and if anything, it does help me out, and it gives me the affordability to be able to continue to do what I like and to, you know, provide better content down the road. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, all of y'all. This is of course the Legendary Porpoise signing off. I'll definitely see y'all in the next video. I hope all of y'all have a very good day and happy gaming.